If you're seeing this, then this is your Tarot Tuesday message. Welcome. Settle in, relax. Let's see what the week has in store for us. My name is Laura. If you don't know me, if you do, hi. We're here on June 10th, and we're looking ahead at all the way through the 17th. 16th? Yeah. 16th. Let me see. Yes, 16th. Okay, great. Next Tuesday will be the 17th. I don't have my calendar updated. No, I know. It's a mess. I don't want to talk about it, okay? But it is June 10th through June 16th that we're going to be looking at. Whether or not you're seeing this video during that time, it doesn't actually matter because time is not linear, okay? We're actually looking at the energy that we'll all be swimming under during this time. The astrological influences are going to be prevalent here, but this energy may find you at any point on your journey. So hopefully there's something here for you that you find useful, that you can take away with this. And it, no matter if you're seeing this one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, okay, it doesn't matter. There might be something here for you. You're going to know what is right for you. Okay, that's not for me to decide. And I'd like to encourage you to take the agency and responsibility of deciding that for yourself. But I will be here to spill whatever tea wants to get spilled, okay? And usually it's some pretty good stuff. And then, yeah, this is a general reading as well. So again, just keep in mind that some things may not be for you, or you may not resonate as strongly with certain things. That's because for whoever is finding this video, whenever they're finding it. And so maybe it's not super specific to your situation. But again, it's the general themes, patterns, energies that we find ourselves working with at the moment. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, we've got the usual suspects here today. Of course, we've got our Oracle of Mystical Moments deck. We also have our Spicy Tarot. Spicy Oracle, not Tarot. Those aren't tarot cards, but I do have my tarot cards, which is a Light Seers Tarot, okay? So yeah, we're going to do what we do, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk a little bit about the astrology as well. I'll be honest with you. I have been doing a lot of system resetting, if you will, with my nervous system. I sort of was like forced to slow down, which is as it should be, which is good. The universe redirects me when I'm not headed off in the right place. But what matters is that I keep myself moving. Needless to say, I have not done a super extensive research on what astrology is happening, although I do know that we have a full moon. This full moon is happening on June 11th, which is tomorrow, if you're seeing this on a Tuesday. So just first thoughts right out of the gate, which I think is pretty obvious for all of us, okay? That's going to probably have a pretty heavy influence on the next 7 days, okay? I will be filming a full moon reading as well. If you want to check that out, that will be posted day after this one is going up. And so you can stay tuned for that. There may be more specific insight for you with that message, but I have a feeling it's going to heavily inform whatever we're in this week, because when we're working with moon energy, a lot of times you could be feeling it a day or two before. You could feel it through. The energy is still with us even up to 3-ish days after we've moved into that. So, I mean, and energy is always mixing and mingling, and there's very rarely, yeah, it's all transitional. So Which also is making me think like this, that might be a theme here, transitional. What we also know about full moons, which is pretty common, is that the full moon is a halfway point through the lunar cycle. So we're halfway through the lunar month, and the moon as a full moon is its biggest, brightest lunation within that like 28, 29 day phase that it has. So it is the monthly harvest, if you will, especially because we're in June. We're full on into Gemini season, okay? And that energy is with us. And the full moon is a Sagittarius full moon that we're having on June 11th. So the Sagittarius influence is going to have a lot to do with things. The full moon itself, though, these are also really illuminating times. So we can expect things maybe coming up to the surface for us. We're being asked to clear what doesn't need to be with us for the last half of this lunation, last half of this cycle. And we are looking and assessing what is working. Maybe some things need to be tweaked. That's where we are in this cycle. So considering those themes and the fact that we're in Gemini season, so as a full moon, we have the opposite influence, which is Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy, I mean, not totally because I'm biased, but it's like pretty good energy. So what is Sagittarius energy? It is the philosopher of the zodiac. This is often higher education, spiritual wisdom, philosophies, continued learning in general. What I really love about this energy, Sagittarius, is that Sagittarius is sort of like the teacher and the student simultaneously, because Sagittarius it's not satisfying enough to just have the answer. It's about the journey that you get in finding the answer and what other questions that finding the answer then brings up to take you on another journey. Sagittarius is also the adventurer, the traveler, okay? They are the archer. So these are, this is like big ideas. This is an energy that's ruled by Jupiter as well. And Jupiter, I do know this because I caught wind of it. Jupiter is in Cancer. So I think that's going to kind of inform, like with this Jupiterian Sagittarius energy of the full moon, I think that's going to maybe inform how we are creating or manifesting maybe within our home, because Cancer rules our family. But Cancer is also very watery. It's feelings. It's got a tough outer shell, but it's all soft and gooey on the inside. So it's a super sensitive energy. And I think it also speaks to an element of like self-care, because when I think of the tough outer shell with soft insides, I think that makes me that's boundaries, like, because I got soft insides, so I got to have some boundaries, which sometimes make me look cold and detached. But that's nobody's business but my own. You know what I mean? And I think that goes for all of us. So I'm curious what this is going to show up as under this energy, maybe the ways in which we're caring for ourselves on our journey, or in this journey sort of manifestation. I think if you're manifesting something, if you're working towards a goal of some kind, which whether or not you know it, you probably are, but there's almost this focus here on like amplifying safe space to get creative. hitting too close to home for me right now. And like going for it with the Sagittarius full moon. And I think where like the boundaries aspect comes in, I wouldn't be surprised if new boundaries get illuminated, okay? It's good to have flexible boundaries. And I think that's another lesson that Sagittarius can teach us as well. Sagittarius does not like to be kept in a box. Sagittarius needs to roam and be free, okay? So, but in a world, you need to have, especially in this world that we're in, you know, God, and this is just a theme that's been coming up for me personally. I don't know about you, but the idea of like where it's like, oh, like, especially as a creative, it's like, oh, well, like you need to create whether or not you feel like it. And you need to create whether or not you feel safe. But a lot of us need to create from a safe place, you know, that it's really difficult to create out of survival. Okay. Okay, somebody just called. So also I'm feeling like disruptions happening. And I don't know who just called me, but whatever. So, okay. Or messages coming in. Maybe the messaging will be disruptive. Okay, we're going to see. I think we just got a lot of signs already. Okay. And that's kind of what I know about what's going on as far as the energy of this week. I think it's going to be an interesting week. I think more of the name of the game is going to be self-care. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Oh, and that's what it is. The idea of creating from a safe place. Some of us need physical safe place to create, but also metaphorically, because the safety has to come from inside first. Okay, just to tack on to that. All right. What do we have in store for us today? Let's find out, shall we? All right, enough talking out of me. But like, that's the vibe I'm picking up so far. But we'll, let's look at our Oracle of Mystical Moments here. And we shall get into it. Okay, so give these guys a quick shuffle. Could we please have information guiding us in the vibe, the energies, the themes? What would you like us to dive into this week? What are we working with here? It's sort of a lot of questions, but I know you know. Aha. Ooh, it seems that I have 2. Wow. Okay. Ah. Interesting. Okay, so the first one that came out, we're going to go with it. First one that came out is Tiny Triumphs. Tiny Triumphs. The mouse is holding on to like a crow or a raven. He's got a little top hat on. Very whimsical, very cutesy. All right. Even the outfit that the mouse is wearing. The number here is 21. Okay, and then with that also came out Abracadabra. I mean, we were just talking about creation. We were just talking about manifestation. Definitely you see this person reaching up into the stars. Okay, and is still connected to the world. Do you see that the dress is also the clothes or what have you? And she's got the conch shell in her hair. Can you see? It's not focusing. I'm sorry, but yeah. Magic. Abracadabra. This one did come out upside down, which for some reason I feel compelled to tell you. The number on that is 34. So let's see what the book has to say about these. Tiny triumphs feels pretty self-explanatory. Attitude, belief, power of perseverance. Yeah, like, are you celebrating yourself and your small wins, your littler successes, tiny triumphs? There are things worth celebrating. A big mouse dressed in a circus trainer is holding a small eagle. That's an eagle? I guess so. It's like a hawk, really. The situation is inverted. The predator is small and the prey is big. Okay, yeah, I picked up on that too, and I didn't say anything about it, but this card urges us to believe in ourselves. Don't ever think you're too small or too outmatched in a situation. Inner size is what matters. Wait, I'm taking that one with me to use for other things, but inner size is what matters. Think back to a time when you felt good about an achievement. Don't give up now. With patience and hard work, you will triumph in the end. Okay. Yes. You are on your way. Okay. Yes. Tiny triumphs. It may seem small to you, but it's probably big to someone else too. I'm getting that. Okay, let's 34. So yeah, whatever you're working on, whatever magic you're weaving, okay, whatever you're bringing down from the ether into this physical reality of yours, I think it feels like it's maybe not going anywhere, but the tiny triumphs, I think, is encouraging us to sort of get a different perspective on this. So abracadabra, yeah, magic, secrets, patterns, destiny. Rising from a kingdom of skyscrapers, a giant woman glows in the cityscape. She is so tall she can touch the stars all around her. With her magic wand, she coaxes the future from the constellations. There is such order in the universe, in the golden ratio of a nautilus shell, or patterns in the starry night. We can unlock the secrets of the universe. We are all the magicians of our own lives. So I think especially recently, it's maybe not felt like that. But this week, it sounds like we will be highlighting these tiny triumphs to show us that our magic is actually really big. And I'm also really hearing right now, like this card spoke about, think back to a time when there was some achievement or tiny triumph that made you feel really good. I think what's coming through here is like finding that space again. I'm an actor as well. So in acting, we say there are no small parts, only small actors. Because it's what you make of it. It's how you step into your situation. And we do have a mouse training a bird, which is usually the opposite. I mean, this is the predator. So with this card, magic, you are the magician, okay? It is your inner size that matters, which is so funny too, because, okay, if you know me, then you know that I'm not tall. I'm about 5'1.5". And if you put a half on it, you got to qualify it. It means you're pretty short. All right. But a lot of people, even when they meet me in person and I tell them that is how tall I am, they don't really believe it. They think I'm taller. And I always say it's because I have a big personality. And my energy is bigger. That this is the kind of inner energy we're talking about, the inner size. Okay. It's like I have this friend, and she may watch these videos. I wonder if she'll see this one day. I don't think she watches them very often, but her mom bought her this like photographed art photo. Anyway, it's this little kitten that's looking at its own reflection, and it's reflecting a huge like lion. Okay. Which is maybe an image I've seen someplace before, but for whatever reason, I'm really picking up on this particular friend and this particular image that her mother gave her. And this little kitten with the lion energy. Okay. That also gives me some like playfulness. So there's like inner child here for me as well. And I think this is like indicating that like your inner child is the one who believes in the magic. So let them come through as well. Okay, let's get some spicy oracle. I don't know. I'm really like, ooh, let's keep going. I'm like almost rushing myself here. Okay, I got 3 of them. Let's go. Okay, here we go. We have, let's show them. Sure, why not? I feel also too here there's a bit of an alignment internally that that's been very elusive for us all very recently if you've been around these tarot readings. Let's show them. Sure, why not? There's an element of like there's nothing left to lose anymore. Let's show them that inner size, right? You are still a force to be reckoned with, even if you think that your situation is smaller than where you want to be or where you imagined it would be. Does that make sense? Is this making sense? It's making sense to me. Yeah, let me give our cards a thorough shuffling here because we are about to dive into this tarot, and I'm going to ask for 3 cards like I usually do. And could we please, this is, oh my goodness. Oh my God. I also have these 2 in my hands as I'm splitting to shuffle, which I think is important. We've got Temperance. This is about balance and alchemy, okay? Becoming something more valuable than where you started, all right? This is Sagittarius energy as well. And then we have the Strength card, which as I hold it here is upside down, but this is what it looks like in the regular. And we're talking about sort of like inner size versus an outer, right? But it doesn't, here this can kind of represent more vulnerable, but this, and it's just, that's just beautiful. Good, I'm glad I listened to the fact that I needed to do a thorough shuffle. Okay, here we go. So here's one. I see 1 card. Thank you so much. Could we please have 2 more just to show us what kind of energy we're going to be working with over the next 7 days? I think it's really interesting so far with what we've been shown, but is there more that you would like us to know? Okay. I see. Huh. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, let's try to make some sense of this. We're going to start at the bottom where we always do. This is our shadow card energy. The energy that we have here is just underneath the surface for us. And this is what is, whether it's known or unknown to us, it is the subconscious. So whether or not you're aware of this energy, this is here and this is controlling everything that's in your life at this moment in time. All right. So this theme is everywhere, even as we go into talk about particularly what we're working through in the world. But what's coming up here, The Five of Cups, I think there's still a lot of grief and feelings of loss that are being stifled. It's really difficult for them to be processed. These feelings are around your sense of your feelings of competition or the journey on your way moving towards the success that you seek. If that makes sense. There's these unresolved issues. It's indicating there's more shadow work coming up around this. And it's making sense now to me why we saw our abracadabra in the reverse position. I think we're really doubting this magical ability because we feel maybe too small. But it's these tiny triumphs that accumulate over time. So that too, with the there has been hesitance. But it's time to show them. And I think it's getting ourselves to this place where we're like, either we've got nothing left to lose, so it's like, sure, why not? Or it's finally getting excited about this. All right. But with the Devil in reverse here, this is, I think, really, there's shadow work coming up for us, but this is really this is our opportunity. And I think we will and are really ready to start to release more of this. But there's this blockage here with whatever repressed emotional stuff around this, around your journey to the top here. Maybe this is an idea of how you're supposed to climb the ladders that you need to climb. Okay. But this is here to show us that we're stepping out of this illusion. Okay. Literally taking the chains off of ourselves and finding that liberation. The cards below that, I think, are keying into elements of the ways in which you feel controlled or dominated or whatever force. That could be you. That could be a force outside of you. A force could be a person or a system. This sense of being controlled and almost overlorded. This is what is keeping you in a space of lack. And also we've got 3 5s out here. That's 555. And that is like lots of conflicting energy, conflicting feelings. Okay. This is why you haven't been able to move on and get creative about your options, about your next steps, and you're cloudy. So, all right. So that was a lot to go through. So more unpacking the feelings here. And my guess is that it's going to be feelings around the ways in which you are seeing yourself as small, but you're not realizing how, you're doubting the vastness or the size or the greatness of your magic. And it's because of whatever complicated, unresolved feelings you have around all of this. So there's work to be done. You're going to do it, though. I know you are. And as far as how this energy is coming through in our world for this week, over the next 7 days, we have the Page of Cups in the reverse position. We also have the 4 of Pentacles here. And then we have the Justice card in reverse. So there is definitely some sort of delusion here in the beginning of the week. ungroundedness. And I think that what's coming through mostly here is a sense of, if something is feeling too good to be true, that's the perfect opportunity to be asking questions about it. Okay? What is being presented to you, and are the intentions here real? The Four of Pentacles also is implying that there's things that we are still hanging on to. And whatever it is we're still hanging on to, that's what's keeping us small. In fact, with Justice in the reverse position, I mean, that is what is actually keeping things out of balance. What are you clinging to out of fear that you'll never get what you feel you truly deserve? Hang on, give me 1 second. Okay, so ultimately what I think it comes down to is sort of like this lack of faith or trusting the process or what have you. Because with the abracadabra in the reverse position, okay, there could be maybe some, also considering the shadow cards, there could be, clinging to some idea of something that you think that you need that's going to be supporting you. That is the word oppressing you is coming up, but that word feels strong. There's something here about the ego. And there's something here about keeping yourself small. And perhaps with the Justice card in reverse, perhaps this is more like on a karmic level as opposed to, I mean, if there are any sort of like legal things that don't seem to be working out right now, or contracts or things like that, that's totally a possibility here with this card. But I feel like on a more karmic level is really kind of what we're talking about here. And there's just some delusion, something that you still seem to be buying into, and it's keeping you holding on instead of opening yourself up for more. And it feels very constricting. The energy just feels constricting. When I started, it was very exciting. So I think it'll be a little challenging for the week. But this delusion, whatever you're hanging on to here, some idea, some messaging that you picked up somewhere, this is what is keeping you from finding that sense of balance or justice or satisfaction. within your karma. Yeah. And when you're doubting your magic, then doubts happen because there's fear, period. And magic, if you're working with magic, and humans are, whether or not they really realize it, energy, right? Shifting and changing energy. Doubt, checking these doubts, I think it's one thing to have your intuition be telling you. It's another thing to doubt yourself or your ability or that your successes matter, no matter how big or small they are, that is keeping you from really stepping through into something new. Okay. This is work. If you're working magic and there's any doubt or fear in your mind, like that, it's going to not be doing you any favors. Okay. It's not that you don't have the fear, but when you're working with the actual energy to shift it and to change it, you truly, truly have to believe it. So I think there's something here too with our oracle cards that came out. The secret to the sauce here is really celebrating those little triumphs. That despite whatever size you feel you are, there is more agency here than you realize. But because of whatever you're hanging on to around all of this kind of shadow work stuff, around feelings of competition and progress and, just your ambitious drive. Do you know why you're driving for what you're driving for? Sometimes people don't know. Sometimes people do know, but it's not for them. There's all kinds of things around this. So this reading is getting a little long. But what's coming up for us this week is certainly here to highlight the fact that of what you're still clinging to that is getting in the way of things working out in your favor, honestly. More truth to be revealed. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Does it make sense? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, share, whatever, or don't. I don't care. I hope at the very least, if you're watching this, that there was something that you got out of this here. I'm walking through all this with you, so don't you worry about that. And yeah, I really do think we're going to dive in deeper into our full moon reading. So please make sure to come back and check that out if you are looking for more clarity or curious in any way. And I think there's something here about really taking yourself back to a place where you focusing on, like, it's not about how big it is. It's about how you pulled it off. Yes, because if you're not creating from a space, again, that feels safe, that is without fear, it's not really going to be working out for you. So So what can we let go? What delusions can we let go under this energy this week? All right. That's what I've got on my shout out. Am I right? There's all kinds of information below in the description box. I don't know if it makes any sense. I need to update it. Don't worry too much about that. But let me know. I love to hear how things go. And I'll be here for you the next time that you see me here. And again, walking through all this with you. So I will see you on the other side.